Good evening, good evening, good evening. Oh, so I would start with prayer, right? My prayer is just, God help me. And that's a prayer for all of you students. All the students in here, stand up. Confirmation students, if you're in confirmation, stand up. Parents, look around. This is 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and there's still 51 ninth graders yet. It's a significant thing. You can go ahead and sit down. So the packets and the sheets and all that kind of stuff, there will always be, probably until Christmas, tables full of those. We'll put all of those copies in the youth corner. Every night that we have confirmation, there will be copies of the confirmation packet. Schedules, I'll probably have those separate from the packets. The green sheets that some of you got, hold them up if you got one. Those orange sheets that some of you got, hold them up if you got one. We'll run more copies of those and have those sitting there, as well as assignment cards, and we'll get to that in a minute. So I'll always have tables full of things that you should have. So if you're sitting there thinking, I didn't get those papers, relax. They'll be there all the way through, like I said, at least Christmas, and probably into that, because I had kids at Lent coming up and saying, how do I keep track of my Lenten sermon notes? Well, don't you have the assignment card? No, I never got one. Well, there you go, right into Lent. So there'll be lots of that. Okay, welcome to what we're doing here. You notice behind me it says 6th through 8th grade confirmation. That is a change for this congregation. It used to be 7, 8, and 9. We changed it to 6th, 7th, and 8th to follow what the schools do. Because if schools are going to call 6th, 7th, and 8th graders middle school students and 9th graders high school students, then somewhere along the line, 9th graders no longer want to talk to 8th graders because they're in high school and 8th graders are in middle school. And I tried for many years in a previous call to fight that battle, and I don't want to do that anymore. So it's easier for me to create community if all y'all are in middle school, even parents. If all y'all are parents of middle schoolers, you get what we're going through. So what we did was took the God Rocks year and threw it up to 9th grade, call it a discipleship year. The 9th graders met earlier over in the Linney Center, and what they're going to do is put 8 years worth of Christian education into practice for a year that is required. So that when they get to confirmation, they go, yep, we know what we're volunteering to do or what we're putting on. What does it mean to put on faith and be a part of a community of faith? They know the faith part. We do a really good job downstairs teaching your kids the what's of our faith. We do a great job with that. That 9th grade is going to teach the how. So that when they get to confirmation in the fall of their 10th grade year, they really know and have experienced this thing called being part of a community of faith. Changes. Confirmation used to be 7, 8, and 9. Now it's 6th, 7th, and 8th with a discipleship year. We will combine the last year of instruction with the discipleship year. So some of you are sitting here thinking, but my kid was in the first year of confirmation last year as a 7th grader. Now they're in the last year of confirmation as an 8th grader? No. We still have technically a 3-year curriculum. We have a 4-year journey, but a 3-year curriculum. Our curriculum is Old Testament, New Testament, Catechism. So the year that they're coming into is the Catechism year. They go through the 10 Commandments, Lord's Prayer, and the creeds. So that discipleship year this year is centering around that, if you want to say that. They're centering around the Catechism year. Next year, they will center around the Old Testament year. The year after that, they'll center around the New Testament year until all the people that are getting grandfathered in this system age out. Does anybody not understand that? Do you get that? If you don't, come and find me. I'll try and explain it. I might even draw you a picture. You never know. But it's going to work. And then after all those kids age out and we get this curriculum set the way it's going to be, that discipleship year will take a different spin even yet. If you see problems that I don't see, if you hear things that I don't hear, don't be afraid to send me an email or text me or come and see me. What a novel concept, huh? Face-to-face conversation. Scary. We like tech. We don't like face-to-face. But please let me know if you see that, because we're going to be able to adjust things on the fly here, okay? Okay, it's in your packet if you want to, if you have a packet, if you see people around you that don't, you can share. Lots of frequently asked questions. when our classes, the schedule and things like that. Again, that's in your packet. For those of you who don't have a packet, our schedule is this. And you can ask me afterwards, I'll say it over and over and over again. 6th grade at 5:30, 7th grade at 6:30, 8th grade at 7:30. Okay? That's what you need to know. So they're hour-long classes, and we teach the same lesson 3 times. Yep, same thing, it's online. You can get it all kinds of different places. Okay? So that's when our classes are. The 9th grade meets at from 6 to 7:25. You can see that schedule down here. Okay? We follow the school schedule, so if there's no school, there's no class. So if you wake up one morning and it's snowing and they cancel school, we have canceled confirmation. Okay? We follow that. Oh, there we go. As a parent, what do I need to do? Parents are expected to participate in the educational life of their child as well as other students in confirmation as a fulfillment of your baptismal promises. Here's where I get a little oppressive and say, I believe that. So you all should participate in what we do here because you promised when you got your kid baptized that you would. So people like me get to hold that. Hold you to your promise. So if you say you don't have time to help out with anything at all, then I get to say, but you promised you'd do that when you got your kid baptized. So you aren't saying no to me, you're saying no to your child. Okay? That's just me being that's the Shrek me, the ogre me. I don't like doing that. But it's important because if you look around, look at all these faces. It takes a lot of people working together to help this work out. I can't do this on my own, so we're going to make this work. Walk with your child during this journey. Talk with them about class topics. Attend church regularly. Oh no. Read the Bible, novel idea, and pray together. God help me is a prayer. Okay? Prayers don't have to be long and flourishing. They can be whatever's on your heart. Say it to God. Take turns sitting at the small group table, engaging with students. Okay, when you sign up to sit at a small group table for confirmation, I'm inviting parents this year to participate. You're not just there as, the vulture watching over kids. Go ahead and participate. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, it kind of gets conversation going. The other thing is your kids want to hear your faith story. So if I'm there or the teacher is there asking questions about how faith is moving in your life, please answer. Don't keep quiet. It's important for your kids to hear you speak your faith. That's part of this educational journey. Okay? Let other parents in your group know as soon as possible if you find a replacement. If you can't make it, please call down your phone chain, call the other parents, see if you can arrange that. If absolutely necessary, you can call the church, but we don't necessarily need to know the schedule. So that's amongst your small group. How do I find my small group number? So you'll be assigned that. Begins with your grade, followed by a letter, table letter, whatever. Okay, can you switch groups? You can, not likely. Again, look around this room. Can you imagine what would happen if we honored every request to switch a table? I can't do that. I'm pretty sure I could dig back into my statistical knowledge somehow to get a formula together that would prove that I can't do that, but I just can't. We can't spend a ton of time doing that. Now, if it's necessary to switch groups, of course, come and talk to us. Okay, please do it. If it just doesn't work out, the whole point, or not the whole point, but one of the major points of what we do here is creating community. So if you just can't sit at that table, come and talk to us. Okay, and we'll do what we can. If you want to switch tables just for any reason at all, you can certainly request it. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean we don't like you. Okay, just if we can make it work, we will. If we can't, we won't. Okay? But if there's a real hard reason why you can't sit at that table, you all know what I mean, please let me know. Okay? We'll deal with it. Why is it 4 years? We went through that already. What if I missed a year of confirmation? Okay, so if you moved here, let's say you move here in the 8th grade or 7th grade, and you didn't take confirmation in 6th grade somewhere, you need to come and talk to me. Okay, because this congregation has spent a lot of time figuring out what they want all of you young people to experience and know and learn and hear about to be able to sit up here or kneel up here and put on your faith. So it's a 3-year curriculum. If you missed one of those curriculum years, we have to deal with that. We have to figure out a way that you can grab that in so that when you get confirmed, you've had all of the preparation that everybody else has had. Okay? So if you're just moving here and you're in the middle of this program, please, please, please let me know as soon as possible. Okay, how do I know where I am with the requirements? Please use the assignment tracker that's available to track your assignments. Like he said, it's online. We're going to print them up as like a card stock, so you can put it on your fridge and check stuff off and it doesn't get all chewed up and frayed. We'll have a pile of those available next week. So you can grab them. You want to grab 2 or 3, I don't care. But with a group this size, invariably something, someplace will get missed. So when you get to the end of the year, April, May, and you say, how many sermon notes do I have done? And I say 9, and you go, my card says 11. I need to know that, because more than likely you're right and I'm wrong. We got over 220 kids in confirmation to keep track of. We're not mistake proof, okay? So that's why you keep it and we keep it, and we can compare. Okay, if you think about, let's think about if every one of you did 15 sermon notes, that's way over 3,000 sermon notes that we're going to get turned in. I can't count through all those to pull yours out. Okay, like I said, it's a logistical thing, so we'll figure that out. When do confirmation services take place? The last weekend in October, which is Reformation Weekend. That's me. I know I look better in that picture, don't I? Collar, coat. They may be dressed up for that. And that's Andy. If you don't know Andy, please stop by sometime and meet her. She put together all this. She's standing right back there. I'll turn around, look out the door. There's Andy, waving. Okay? Okay, she's going to get really embarrassed for me saying this, but I know Jesus is my Savior. Andy is a very close second. Okay? She keeps me on track. She's the one that put all this together. I'm the idea guy. She's the implementation person, which, if you know me, knows that that's a lot more work. Here's the requirements. Okay, we've changed some stuff. For those of you that have been in confirmation before, you know it was 12 sermon notes and 4 homework sheets. Maybe you learned differently. So we changed it around to do up to 10 of each. So if you look at the assignment sheet, or the assignment tracker sheet, you'll see 5, 5, and 5. So you have to do 5 sermon notes, and you have to do 5 take-home sheets. But the other 5 can be either one. So if you're good at sermon notes and lousy at take-home sheets, do 10 sermon notes. If you're lousy at sermon notes and good at take-home sheets, do 10 take-home sheets. We're trying to work with you here. Okay, I need to make best use of everybody's time. So if you got any more questions, ask me about that. Another change we made, service projects. 2 total, 1 individual and 1 as a small group. I would love to make part of your confirmation journey all about creating community. Okay? And that's how we create community, is kind of pushing you together. Okay, so we will be a little more diligent on throwing out opportunities for service projects. If you're having trouble getting your whole group together, come and talk to me. If you arrange something for your group and there's 8 kids in your group and only 5 of them show up, well, the other 3 are going to have to figure out some other way to do that. But you did it, you arranged one, you set it up, you got everybody there, and whoever didn't show up just misses out, okay? The other thing about the service projects is we changed our service project sheet to include how does this help you live out your faith. Okay? So I love the fact that a lot of you serve concessions at games. That's good. But what I want you to do is think about how everything that you serve, or every time that you serve your community, how does that help you live out your faith? In what way? I don't want to know just what you did. I want you to think about how that's putting your faith to work. Okay? Lenten reflections. 4 during Lenten or Holy Week. Now it says up there in tiny print, may complete the 9th grade requirement of Lenten journal at any time during confirmation in place of Lenten reflections. The Lenten journal needs to be completed once before being confirmed. We have a 4-year program, right? 6th, 7th, and 8th grade confirmation, 9th grade discipleship year. If you haven't got that Lenten journal done by 9th grade, you will do it in 9th grade. But you can do it at any time. What a Lenten journal is the Lenten service journey starts at Palm Sunday, then Maundy, Thursday, Good Friday, Easter Vigil, Easter Sunday. We'll put a journal together for every one of those services. You don't have to go to them here, but you have to go to them someplace. All in the same year. So don't go to Palm Sunday in your 6th grade year and then Maundy, Thursday in your 7th grade year. No. If you're going to do it in your 6th grade year, then you do the whole thing. And that's important because in my tiny little head, Easter is almost as important or maybe even more important than Christmas. Easter is why we're here, people. Okay, that's when the big deal all took place with the resurrection. So it's important to know what happened in that journey. So the Lenten journal will be that, okay? So if you decide as a 6th grader to do that Lenten journal, then you don't have to do the 4 reflection sheets as well. Okay, it takes the place of that. Okay, so you either do 4 Lenten reflections, which are basically sermon notes for the Lenten services, or you do that. Please attend as regularly as you can to the classes. There's Lenten requirements, work shifts, and then meet with your small group once outside of class. That's kind of new too. We should probably all try and get along. So do something fun once in a while. I don't know, go to Tutti Frutti, make them bring their own money. Small group leaders, don't pay for them all unless you really want to. That's not what I'm asking you to do. What I'm asking you to do is go do something fun. Have them all over to your house and make pizza rolls and watch movies or something where you do something fun to put things together. Does anybody know how many high schools are in this town? Like Bismarck, Mandan? 6. Mandan, Shiloh, St. Mary's, Legacy, Century, Bismarck High. Wow. How many middle schools are in this town, by the way? Okay, right? If you have to sit here and count, that's my point. So what happened was, remember, for those of you that have been in confirmation, remember my confirmation meetings when I sat with all of you last spring? One of the best things I found out was from the 9th graders that nobody got together as a group. So you've been sitting at the same table for 3 years and you don't know them? Nope. Ouch. That is not a way to build community, people. Okay, so we're going to try and do that by saying, sometime during the year, get your small group together and do something fun. Parents, talk to each other. There's another novel idea. You should all talk to each other and figure out what you want to do. Parents can go along if you want. You don't have to stay home. At least one parent per small group at each class meeting, unless otherwise noted. At least one parent does not mean only one parent. It means at least. If 2 of you want to come, great. I've got more chairs. Sometimes it's kind of, how many of you have sat at small group tables? Did you learn anything? Who said no? That's fantastic. That's great. Yes. No, I knew it all beforehand. I hope you learned something. Or figured out something. Or something went, wow. So it's kind of fun sometimes to sit at those small group tables. So if more than one of you want to show up, please do. Boom. There's our schedule. Online for sure and certain. Please print it off several times. Put it in your house, all over the place. Do what you can. Notice the times where it says no confirmation. That's when there's no school. Life lessons, all of you will come and meet in here at 7. Although if you look around, wow, we're going to fit 51 9th graders plus their parents in here at the same time. It's going to be crowded, people. We can do it. The life lessons are pretty good. If you've seen them before and been to them, you know that we set up some pretty good life lessons, okay? That's not carved in stone. So somewhere along the line, if a significant change needs to happen, you will get bombarded by new schedules because I want to over-communicate that. So if we have to change anything along the line just because something happens, We will put it online. I'll mail it to you. I'll send it home with kids. I don't know, staple it to their shoes, whatever, okay? All right. But there's some things, and you'll get these quite a bit because I want to make sure that you know when you need to be here. Sign in when you arrive. I can't mark you down as being here unless I know you were here. So sign in when you get there. Talk to one of the adult leaders. Make sure you're doing the right thing. If you're serving first shift, you'll eat after your shift. If you're serving second shift, you'll eat before. Okay, make sure we do that. Had some interesting feedback from last year at our working things about kids eating during the shift. You don't want to do that. Just doesn't give a good picture. There's the table sign-ups for all the class periods. Okay, and where it says all parents, that's life lessons. We'll be as fluid as we can on that. Obviously, if both of you can't be here, then what are we going to do? It's not like I'm going to dock your kids. Life happens, right? It's just how it goes. So, but communicate to us if we can. You'll receive an email including parent home phones, cell phones, and emails for your small group so that you can make that sign up happen and talk to each other. And you're responsible for coordinating your parent schedule and your replacements. Okay? All right. There's your reading schedule. This will be handed out in bookmark form. So they come on little hard bookmarks. With each of these is a bookmark. They're two-sided bookmarks, so you get 3 of them. We divide them up for the year. So these 2 will be on the first set. And you can't see that. I can't see it. But what it does, it has the readings on there that we're going to go through for the lessons each time. Please take those and read, at least skim over it beforehand so that you know what we're talking about in the lessons. That would be really handy. Because I kind of force you all to read. Those of you that were in here last year know that. I like to make you read out of the Bible. You should become comfortable with reading out of the Bible. Our Bible is not very hard to read in. By the way, if you don't have a Lutheran study Bible, you will get one. We buy them for you. So all the students in confirmation will have the same Bible. Okay, you'll get that the first night if you don't already have one. If you have one from previous years, please bring them to class with you. Your Bible should be something you get comfortable in using. Another goal of what we do here. Okay? So please read that beforehand. All right? And there is sermon notes and project notes, little samples of them. Please don't cut these up and use these. There will be full-size versions of these in the youth corner. If you don't know where the youth corner is, it's right out across the narthex, which is the Lutheran word for lobby. If you go across into that corner over there, that's the youth corner, and you can always find copies of sermon notes and project notes. Okay, if you can't find them, please find me. If you come here a Sunday morning and they're not there, please know that you can just take the bulletin and write some notes on it. We'll sign that, and away you go. There's a place on there for us to, come back, there's a place on there for us to sign. Us meaning somebody like an usher or a pastor. That's because we're on TV, and what I don't want you to do is grab a whole stack of sermon notes and sit home on Sunday afternoons and watch us on TV and fill out the sermon note. Not the point. Again, that does not build community, that builds comfort in your chair. You're already comfortable in your chair, and that's what the game is in the afternoon, right? Anyway, there's a copy of the assignment card. You'll notice 5 sermon notes, 5 lesson worksheets. These 5 in the middle can be any combination of the 2. Okay? That's the 9th grade one. So if there isn't any 9th graders in here, you don't have to worry about that. This is going to be the one you deal with. Okay? Please use these assignment trackers. It's fairly important to us. It's a group effort. It's really helpful stuff. Okay, and there's the registration form, which if you filled out, great. If you sent it in, great. It's online. Please fill it out so that we know if you're here. Receive Good Shepherd Lutheran Church text messages, yes or no. Please check that. One of the things that we're going to do this year is implement a little tech. Meaning, how many of you students have a cell phone or an iPod? Yeah, parents look around. Isn't that disturbing? How many of you need the cell phone? Yeah, all of your hands should have gone down. Because the only people that need to know where you are already know where you are. Okay, so I'm not going to fight that battle anymore either. But what I am going to do is climb into your world. Okay, so I don't have my phone on me. Isn't that great? I left mine downstairs. Would that make you nervous if you didn't have your phone on you? Yeah, right? Not me. I'm an old guy. There's an app for everything. There's an app called Prayer Popper. I'll get the information to you. It's fantastic. All of the apps that I'm going to tell you all about are free because I am cheap. So I get free apps. I don't pay for apps. There's nothing in my world that I need that bad. But the Prayer Popper app is free. It's fantastic. It asks you to type in things you want to pray for, and several times during the day, your phone will go off and it'll say, time to pray. And you press that little time to pray, and it brings up the random prayers that you have. It is fantastic. It has completely increased my prayer life. And if you read those, it makes you stop and pray. Prayer is important, people. By the time you 6th graders get to 10th grade, you will be comfortable praying up here. You'll be comfortable enough with prayer where you could come up here and pray in front of all these people. That's my goal. That is like way up on top of my list for goal. You have to be comfortable to pray. Prayer is how you talk to God, okay? You should not be embarrassed to do it. It should flow. So Prayer Popper is going to help you do that. Another app we have, incidentally, is Luther's Small Catechism. Can you believe that? It's on an app. I love it. Well, since this is the catechism year, we're going to use that too. I'm also on, all you parents are going to love me right now. My coolness factor is going to go from here to here. Was here, now it's going here. I'm on Vine and Snapchat, as well as Facebook and Twitter. But what occurs to me is you guys can't ignore a Snapchat. You can't resist a Vine. Well, you know what? I can inspire you to pray in 6 seconds. I can clue you into, if we're going to talk about God's creation, I can take a picture of something out in the world that is a rose growing in the middle of a highway and say, look what God can create. And you can't resist me. Okay, so I'm going to climb into your world with that. So we will be asking you very shortly if you want to partake in that. If you don't, that's okay. But think about it, okay? But as I find those little apps, I'm going to send that because I notice some of you parents are going, oh, really? There's a Prayer Popper app? Yes, you'll get information on that too. Okay? We will text a lot of stuff to people if you want that. We share parent contact information within small groups. We're going to find a way to do this that doesn't share all of your numbers. We respect your privacy. Andy knows how to do that. I don't. That's why Andy's here. Okay, student emails, cell phones are only used by staff members to make every effort to keep that information from their peers. So if I send you out a text, you're not going to be able to look around and find everybody else's phone number on that. I don't want to do that. I'm still aware of how middle school dynamics work, and what I'm not going to do is send your phone number out to all kinds of people so that they can text you bad things in the middle of the night. Okay? In my short time here, I've already sat with somebody who was contemplating suicide because they got texts in the middle of the night degrading their person. Grr. Okay? All right. There's that. I'm trying not to keep you very long. Schedule follow school. Food. I've had some requests for food. Again, look around the room. How am I going to make that work? I know that educational studies say that kids learn better when they're fed and hydrated. I get that. What I don't want is a whole bunch of people bringing candy bars and energy drinks. The ceiling in the Learning Center is high. If you're bouncing around off the ceiling, I have to spend the whole time doing that. Okay, so I would love to have food and drink there. My other problem is I only have 50 minutes to get this done. So if you're going to spend 15 of those eating, I don't know what to do because my lessons are already too long. So I don't know. If somebody has a really neat way to make that work, please do. I don't know how to do that. I don't have a big enough space to feed you in one space and teach you in another. You know what I mean? So if you're really creative right now, my head's too full. If you're really creative to make that stuff work, let me know. Okay? Safety system, pick up and drop off, sign in and sign out. I think most of you got that. If not, this will be like, you're going to go, what? Yes, we've implemented 2 things this year. One is a safety issue. You are going to sign your kids in and sign them out. Are there any confirmation students in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade that drive? No. Parents, you're going to sign them in and sign them out. So no more waiting outside for your kid to run out. The last thing I want is for somebody to go running across Osage in the middle of the winter and some car fly around the corner and not be able to stop and poof. It hasn't happened yet. We're lucky. Doesn't mean we're wise. It just means we're lucky. It's also in today's day and age, I don't have to tell you the dynamics of the community are changing. We need to tighten up our watchful eye on your children. So there'll be a table where you sign in and a table where you sign out. Parents, please do that. There'll be some hiccups and there'll be some learning curves on that. There'll be kind of a hassle on that. Please, we'll figure it out. Maybe we have to do it per table. Maybe I got to set up tables all along that hallway so you're not all gathered around one. We'll figure it out as we go. Discipline system. This is not the churchy part of this talk, and I apologize if we sound oppressive for this, but again, we're lucky. We have to have a discipline system. We just do. We have to have a way that we make all of you on the same level as far as what we do if somebody here doesn't or decides not to be respectful of people or property. We just have to. Okay, we can't, I can't do it on a person-by-person basis all that well. There's too many of you. We're too big. And we need to have a way where the parents that are sitting at the small group table can participate in kind of making sure that everybody there has a respectful experience. So we have a discipline policy. It's online. It's in your hands. We're going to ask you to sign some of this stuff and hand it back in so you read it. Okay? Basically, first time is a warning. Just, please, we don't do that here. Try not to do that. All that kind of stuff. Second time, if you're going to do the same thing, then they're going to say, you know what, we had this chat. We're not going to do that here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go to a different room for a minute so you can cool off and figure out what's going on. And if, then you can cool down and go back. Third time, do the same thing. Remember, we don't do that here? Remember how we spent some time out last time? Yeah, well, this time you're going to go and visit Pastor Bob, and you're going to sit in his office till your parents get here and pick you up, and then we're going to have a meeting with the parents to decide how it is that you're going to complete your educational journey here if you still insist on being damaging to person or property. Does anybody not understand that? I don't like to do that. It's not all that welcoming. It's not all that grace-filled. But it's just a given. Somewhere along the line, we're going to have to do that stuff. Okay, I don't know how else to say that. If I'm wrong, please tell me. I don't think we are. It just becomes a safety issue. I need all of you to feel some sort of assurance that when you drop your kids off on Wednesday night, we are taking care of them. And that's how we do that. Okay? Requirements. These are some of the things that I wrote down as far as notes. Sorry, life lessons. Important. Attend them. They're fun. They're informative. It's a good time. Requirements. While not hard and fast, they're a good barometer of your level of commitment. That's a good way to say that your confirmation is dependent on lots of things. One of the least of them is notches on a post. Okay, again, in my time, I've met kids that got 20% of their requirements done, but have lived faith more gritty than any of us. They need to be confirmed. I've also met kids that have done everything in their requirements and don't give spit about faith. So, what I'm telling the 10th graders now is, and I'll tell you guys, I've always been in a congregation where we wrote down the names of the kids that were going to get confirmed, I handed them over to the church council, and the church council voted on them. We don't have that here. So, for good or bad, for right or wrong, I'm the pinch point. It's what you all called me here to do. So I sit down and have a conversation about faith with all the 10th graders. Luckily, I still kind of understand 15-year-old faith. I told that. I got to sit down and talk to them. The great thing is that sometimes the kids themselves say, I don't feel like I should be confirmed. Wow, let's talk about that. It's okay to doubt. Okay? I mean, it just is. But the requirements are not everything. While they're a good judge of your level of commitment, if you never do any of the requirements, eventually I'm going to ask you, what does that say about how you're looking at participating in a community of faith, right? I mean, I think that makes sense. Somewhere along the line, if you don't decide to do anything, then why are you here? Well, because mom and dad are making me. Well, then I got to talk to mom and dad. Because when you get up here and you kneel at those little rails, you make a set of promises that need to mean something. All of us have some part of our faith that we kind of stand on and say, I'm not going to move off of this spot. When you're kneeling at the kneeling rail here saying you're going to claim your faith, that is not the time to not mean it. And a 15-year-old needs to mean it as much as they can. If it's a joke to them, I'm not going to confirm them. Okay? Now that sounds kind of hard. Again, this stuff sounds kind of hard. I'm not necessarily that guy, and I've only met one kid in 11 years that I wouldn't confirm. Okay, so they're out there. I don't know that many of them are in here, but they're out there. So that's why I say, just because you did all the requirements doesn't necessarily mean that you've got a good grip on that. Service must be something that lives our faith. We got that part, the service part, okay? All right, now, a couple of things to announce, and then we're done. This congregation is going through several transformational ministry suppers. We have 3 questions that we're going to be going through, 3 different weekends this fall and into December, where we're talking about transformational ministry and lots of conversations with that. Again, need some small groups to serve. If you need the dates, let me know. I'll throw them out there real quick. It's October 10th and 11th, November 14th and 15th, and December 5th and 6th. Okay? So if you need those, again, call me. But if you want to do those as a group, that's a good thing to do because you're all here. Right? You don't have to make up anything. And there's some service events already. So if you want to do that, 8th graders, where are you? 8th graders, raise your hand. No, hi. 8th graders, raise your hand. There you go. Okay? You all are eligible to go to the National Youth Gathering in Detroit. Sorry, 7th and 6th, you're not. 8th graders are. So if you want information on that, please call me. It's an excellent time. It's July 12th through the 20th next year. We'll stop in the cities, do a little Mall of America thing. We'll go to Chicago, do a little fun stuff there, go to Detroit, go through the National Youth Gathering. If you need to know more about that, please ask me. It's an amazing experience. Won't say life-changing. Don't know your life. You'll never forget it. And then we'll kind of just haul butt back here. Okay? No. Okay, remember, I have an email, bob@goodshepherd.com, goodshepherdbismarck.com, okay? My phone number is oftentimes listed in many different places. If you want my card, I have tons of those. Please get a hold of me if you have any questions at all. We will have tons of paperwork the nights of confirmation, and 1, 2, 3, go.